Outlet Liquor is your place to buy a case. Stock up and save when you shop the lowest prices available every day at Outlet Liquor. You never have to wait for a sale. The more you buy, the more you save. Only at Outlet Liquor.
What's your outlet?
Folks, welcome into Degenerate Danger Zone. It is January 4th, 2021. I'm your host, Ty B. We got some guy named Steve and Slick L joining me here to bring you guys.
Buddy. It's 2022.
Oh my God.
Much.
I don't even know. It's the first time I've had to say the date. That's all on me.
You're lucky I'm here.
Let's build up the 2022 bank roll up, right, Slick? Action all across in sports here for the most part. Obviously no NFL. It's a Tuesday. And no Thursday if anyone's looking forward. All Sunday games this week, so make sure you guys are on top of that for the NFL. Free Money Football will be running on Thursday this week to preview all that for you. Stevie, we got, NBA, we got NHL. College basketball is really starting to cruise along, but it's the same storyline that's kind of prevailed through it. It's all these guys getting out with COVID right now. We're seeing a lot of college basketball programs shut down, even some of them playing through and taking some losses they probably shouldn't, but it's better than these forfeits. Where's your mind at looking at, getting into conference play here where they have to really get those games in?
Right, and that's the big thing. Now we're in the important part of college basketball. Those non-conference games, you miss a couple, you cancel a couple, not a big deal. This is conference play. This is the big one for those Power 5 conferences to build their resumes, for the mid-majors to make a move in the conference standings. Right now, Ty, I would say to just pump the brakes on all futures for college basketball because it's been so inconsistent this year. There's been a lot of teams that have just missed a couple weeks, haven't been able to practice. You've had players sitting out. You've had games canceled. And not only that, besides Baylor, really, a little bit of Duke, you've had a lot of inconsistency at the top from these teams we thought were going to be forces throughout the year. But non-conference play aside, you learn a lot more about these teams when conference play starts. And I'm just hoping these teams can stay healthy. We can get all the scheduled games because I want to learn about all these teams. There were a lot of speculations coming into the year about certain title contenders. They've kind of been disappointing so far. Gonzaga hasn't looked too great. Villanova has kind of had a rough stretch. Virginia's just been an embarrassment so far this year from their expectations. I mean, Texas as well. A lot of teams like that. So just pump the brakes. Don't make any futures yet. This next month is really kind of the learning period for college basketball. I'm just hoping all the teams can stay healthy, get these games in, because I'm very excited. This is my favorite part of the season is these conference games.
And that's the big thing, too, with college basketball. Most of the time when you're betting who's winning the conference, you're betting who's winning the conference tournament. Most books don't even offer who's going to win the regular season conference title. They're not worried about it. So that, there's a whole nother roadblock for you to look at when you're trying to bet it this far out. Like, things can change a ton. Guys can end up out that weekend. So I'd probably stay away from that unless you find a team where you think you can get a sneaky line on at a good time. And I guess that's where I'll start with my picks here in college basketball. Seton Hall dropped their first game there in the Big East to Villanova, but they were without a lot of their players due to COVID issues. That's what I'm talking about, how they're trying to force some of these games in, whereas they would probably have canceled them earlier in the season. But with some of the ramifications from the conference is that if you can't get these games played, they're going to be forfeits on whatever team had the COVID issues. So if it comes down to you not being able to reschedule it late in the season, like, that other team doesn't have to try and force things to get it in. Like, it's going to be a forfeit on you. So they are getting their big man, Ike Obiogu, back in this one for Seton Hall. So I'd like that a lot. I know they're on the road. Only 3-point favorites. I'd like them to cover in that by over a bucket. I think they win by 7-8 points in this one. Don't think they're going to really have to sweat it. For the past few seasons, Butler's really started to kind of fall off. They still play a very sound defensive game, Stevie, but they are the second worst ranked team in KenPom in the Big East. Big East is pretty, I'd say, parity heavy, where a lot of the teams are in the middle there. But I think Seton Hall is generally towards the top half of that, and Butler is at the bottom half. In all three of their games against top 20 teams, they've lost by over 18 points. They've beaten some top 100 teams, but haven't been super consistent. That's why I like Seton Hall in this one, getting a lot of their guys back, Stevie.
Yeah, I think Seton Hall is clearly the better team. The Big East, sometimes, especially last year, we kind of saw a lot of upsets, especially with the home teams. It scares me a little bit. But Butler has really had an inefficient offense for the past couple of years, and this season's probably been the worst it's been. They're shooting right around 42%. They're not getting a lot of good looks. They're not a good outside shooting team. It's a team I think Seton Hall can take advantage of despite being on the road. Because, sometimes road teams are tough. But Seton Hall, clearly the better team if they're healthy. I like that pick, Ty. And I'm taking a road team with my first pick. It's college basketball. I'm diving right into it. I want everyone right now to forget what they think about Georgia University as a whole. Their football team, fantastic. I think Georgia might win the national championship. I think this could be their year. Their basketball team, the opposite of that. Georgia may be one of the worst basketball teams in the Power 5 conferences. They are bad. They have lost at home this year to Wofford, East Tennessee State, George Mason, and Gardner Webb. Gardner Webb was by 17 points. They lost 4 of those games at home. So I'm not too scared that they're home today. Texas A&M is coming into Georgia. A&M's only 6-point favorites. I think A&M just kind of dominates of today. A&M is 11-2 on the year. They're 60th in KenPom. They have a top 50 ranked adjusted defense, and they're playing a Georgia team that just struggles to score the ball, to put it lightly. They've been really, really bad. And on the other side, you have Texas. Texas A&M, the average is 76 points a game. They shoot 46% from the floor, and Georgia's adjusted defensive ranking is 263rd this year. It is not just bad for Power 5 conferences, it's bad for all teams in college basketball. Georgia's 3-9-1 against the spread this year. They're a bottom 200 or they're sub 200 team in the KenPom rankings. It's just Georgia basketball just isn't good. They don't have very good players. And Texas A&M has size. They have the defense that can force them into mistakes. A&M forcing 11 steals per game. I think A&M can just dominate Georgia today on the road. I think Georgia is one of the worst teams in Power 5. I don't know if they go winless in the SEC, but I only think they get 1 or 2 wins. I think 6 points is way too short of a number. And even despite them being at home, and I don't like picking away teams too much, especially, road favorites in conference play, I'm comfortable laying 6 with A&M.
Slick, anything collegiately you're looking at?
Honestly, sorry, someone's got like a vacuum on or some shit. It's
You're good, man.
pissing me off. But no, the college basketball slate looks too tricky to me. I don't want to dabble much in there. And just like college basketball, like you were saying, the NBA is pretty COVID-stricken too.
Yeah.
There is one pick I am confident in, though, and that's the Suns in New Orleans, 7.5. I think they could easily cover that spread. New Orleans are really hurting without Zion, and the rest of the roster we know isn't that great. Speaking of outside shooting too, Devin Booker's been playing a great basketball.
Yeah.
Was tempted to put some money on the Grizzlies +3 in Cleveland, but that Cleveland team has been very good this year. And don't get me wrong, because John Morant's coming off that strong win against the Lakers. He's looking like the future point guard of the NBA. But that Cleveland team, man, they got some dogs. And yeah, I would hate to bet against them right now. So I like the Suns play. College basketball, staying away from that tonight. Pretty good games though. I'll definitely tune in. And I believe we have a bowl game too tonight, right?
I think there might be one left.
LSU.
LSU, Kansas State.
Yeah,
Gotcha. Yeah.
We do. Yeah. Speaking of LSU, I will be taking an LSU game, but no, the collegiate basketball game, Slick. Sorry. And I'm looking at a total here against Kentucky. Yeah, and that's a big game there between the number 16th and number 21 ranked or 21st ranked teams in the country. Going to be on ESPN. Everyone's like, "Ooh, Kentucky basketball, going to be exciting." And not so fast.
Yeah.
Right now, LSU ranks first in adjusted efficiency defensively in the country, according to KenPom, and Kentucky is 8th in effective field goal percentage against, 16th in 2-point field goal percentage against. Like, both these teams get after it. The two give up a combined total of 115.8 points per game. The total here is at 139.5. I think you have a ton of wiggle room here in this one. Not the same amount of star power as you're used to from the Kentucky team, not a bunch of guys who are just going to take over, put up, 25 and 11, and go crazy and it really fill up the stat sheet and all around. That's not really going to happen here with them. They've really had to buy in thus far this year and play some team ball and rely defensively and then, use their talent at the end, because we've seen throughout, football and basketball this year with all these teams having these extra holdovers. A lot of these teams are a lot friskier than they would be, especially the mid majors. So Kentucky has had to play much stronger defense to get those wins that they have. So Stevie, I don't like unders. If I got to take one, it's got to be because of the numbers, and the numbers point to it.
Yeah, sometimes the numbers don't lie, Ty. And I think a lot of people see LSU, Kentucky, they think two high-flying offenses. And Kentucky, you look at them, you're like, oh, they're shooting 49%. They're averaging 83 a game. Well, they've been playing teams that can't really defend them because they're just bigger. LSU has the size. They average about 5 blocks a game. They force about 12, 13 steals a game. They can slow this Kentucky team down. They can grind them down. And on the other side, I've watched Kentucky a handful of times this year. They are tough inside the paint. They do not give up any easy baskets. I like that under a lot. I got one more college basketball play, and then I got an NBA play. I'll give that out at the end. College basketball, I'm taking Clemson -3. It feels like a chalk pick, but they're playing Virginia, and I know they just crushed Virginia on the 22nd. They beat them by 17 in Virginia. I just don't like this Virginia team, and everything tells me Clemson's a better team. They average 5 more rebounds and score 13 more points a game than Virginia. They have the 24th best adjusted offense, the 69th best adjusted defense. And they out-rebounded Virginia 35-26 in the first matchup. They had fewer turnovers. I think Virginia had double the turnovers than Clemson. Clemson shot 47% opposed to Virginia's 36%. Now, yeah, some stuff can regress, but all of it, they just outplayed Virginia in the first game. I just think Clemson is a better team, and in their home games this year, they're 6-0, winning by an average of 17 points per game. I only have to lay 3 with a team I think is significantly better than Virginia, and I know Virginia's had their struggles this year. They did get their big road win against Syracuse a couple days ago. I think this Clemson team's going to be ready for them. They had that Duke game pushed back that was supposed to be home a couple days ago. I think they're going to be ready. I think they're going to be prepared. I think they're going to take out Virginia at home. I like taking Clemson at home. They've been good at home the previous years, and I've watched this Virginia team a couple times this year. They don't do it for me, Ty. I know everyone talks about the grindy Virginia defense. Their defense isn't as great as it's been in the past year. It's still a good defense. It's always going to be a good defense with the system they have there, but it's not that great. And Clemson is a team that can shoot the ball. They can score. I like Clemson -3. Feels chalky, but sometimes you got to take the chalk.
Absolutely. I was kind of leaning that. But Slick, what else are you looking at across the board here? I know I'm going to be hopping into the NHL with my next pick.
Yeah, you read my mind there, Ty. I was looking at, believe it or not, I hate I'm saying this, but the Boston Bruins at home. Puck line -113. I feel comfortable in that, but money line, bit juice, 315, regular way, 3-way time. -177. I like that puck line. That's going to be your best value in that game. Bruins, they have this explosive offense, as you saw the game we played them in the other night. Great game, great effort by the Sabres, too, in that game from Tuck and Krebs. That was amazing to watch. It really was. But ultimately, that Bruins team is just stronger, and they have more chemistry as of right now. And I don't see much the Devils can do to them at home in the Garden. I got Boston -1.5.
I'm also with you on that pick. They're playing the New Jersey Devils, who, yes, they've won 3 straight games. One was to the Sabres, who were missing like 11 guys total from the roster, like 6 guys out with COVID.
Right.
Then they beat Edmonton, who that's just a whole fucking tire fire right now. That's absolutely brutal. I'm not even going to get into that. And then they also beat Washington, which they got a little lucky. They've been putting up a lot of goals these past few days. But Lindy Ruff now out with COVID as well. And they're on the road, so they're not going to be able to get the matchups that they would like. Home team always gets those. So if you're telling me Boston gets that advantage with everything else going on, I'm taking Boston on that puck line all day and all night. And I'm just going to take that one right to the pay window. I'm not even going to wait. I'm just going to stand it. I'm going to place that bet and then stand at the pay window waiting to collect.
Get well, too, Lindy Ruff, Buffalo legend, for sure.
I don't have a hockey pick, but what I will say is one of these guys on Twitter's names, he goes by the name NP. He's up 40 units on the year. He's been taking reverse actions with hockey puck lines. So what he'll do is he'll throw a couple of these reverse actions, these couple puck lines together, all plus odds, and he'll throw 3 units on it. And if two of the three hit, you win about 3 units. If all 3 hit, you win like 9-10 units. If 1 or 2 hit, you just lose about 1.5 units, 2 units. And if all 3 lose, obviously you lose the 3 units. It feels like it's been beating the system. It feels like it's a loophole. That's how I've been betting hockey this year. I haven't even looked into hockey. I've just gone to MP. I'm like, what do you got tonight? And he's got the Panthers, Winnipeg Jets, and the Anaheim Ducks all on the puck line in a reverse action. I know a lot of people are like, what in the world is a reverse action? Well, you might want to learn because soon we're going to get the mobile books. They're coming soon, and you're going to have these options. You're going to have all these options in front of you. Reverse actions, the way I love to play the NHL. Just had to get that out there real quick before I give my final pick.
That's awesome, man.
It's been great. It's been fun. I haven't had to care about hockey, and it's just
because those are really good odd values if you reverse the puck line, like really good. Because honestly, the normal puck lines have some good value sometimes, like some even money value.
That's the thing. He only looks for those with plus odds. So he's looking for puck lines where he can get plus odds, put them together. That's the way the reverses work. If you do it with favorites, then it gets kind of tougher because you don't win as much.
Right.
I'm not going to dive into it. It's a whole thing, but I'm going with the NBA for my final pick, and I'm taking an over. I usually don't like taking NBA overs, but I'm going Spurs Raptors over 223. The Spurs have kind of been over darlings for me so far this year, and the Raptors have been great. Who's this Steve guy? It's just some guy named Steve. Just some guy named Steve. In the chat today. That was so funny. But anyways. We got Spurs, Raptors. Raptors 8-2 their last 10 in the overs. Spurs 6-4 their last 10 in the overs. The Spurs have been going nuclear their last 10 on their side of the ball. They're averaging 119 points per game their last 10. Raptors averaging right around 112 their last 10. Spurs play at the 4th fastest pace, and they speed teams up when they play them. It doesn't matter how slow a team's playing. When they play the Spurs, they speed them up. I haven't seen a Spurs team like this before where they just want to push the pace all game, the whole time. That's what they've been doing. And the Raptors offense starting to catch fire. I like the over 223. I think this has a really good chance of hitting. I think that we could see a 125, 120 type of game. I think it's a pretty tightly contested game. I don't think we'll see a blowout. So I think they'll be trading baskets the whole night.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love that play.
It's like anything else you're looking at here tonight.
I was tempted to throw on the Knicks -3, but I don't know. Do it if you want.
Why not? Why not?
Fade
If
me.
you want.
Fade me if you want. Who cares? Yeah.
And then maybe one last sprinkle because the line doesn't make sense.
What's
Marquette's favored at home against Providence.
I saw that.
There's no reason they should be favored, but it's a Big East home team. They're just favored. It's just a 1-point spread right now. There's no reason they should be favored. So maybe sprinkle a little bit on Marquette.
Providence ranked?
Yeah, I think they're 13-1 this year. Providence.
Yeah,
they're not going to be a team that has like 1 or 2 losses all year. They're bound to lose.
At least that spread was like just 1 point and not.
Yeah, it's a very weird one. It's a very weird one.
Still odd, yes.
So
but
maybe sprinkle a little on Marquette, but that's all I got.
And looking at that college football bowl game, might be better off staying away from it. Lines moved all the way to 7.5. LSU's quarterback transferred to Texas A&M. They were going to play like their heralded freshman quarterback, where people are pretty high on. But LSU said they weren't going to give him his waiver for this season, redshirt waiver, if he played in the bowl game. So he's not playing. So their alternatives are 2 other freshman quarterbacks or a senior receiver.
Oof.
Yeah, and I don't necessarily think that's going to be a very high-scoring game. So you might be able to just throw anyone in there and just run. Yeah.
Under might be a good bet. Those unders have been decent in the bowl games so far, for the most part.
Ever since, like, especially now with COVID this year, how it's been, these bowl games that haven't been the New Year's Six or the playoff, it's been so tough to judge them, how teams are going to come out for them. I've tried to stay away as much as I can.
100%.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm not going to be making a play on that one. Never mind. I was thinking about it, and I was like, no. Shout out to Captain Ferdinand. joining the crew.
Aye, aye,
Sure,
Hello,
Captain will
Captain.
be joining us on DDZ very soon, giving out some of his picks. I know he said he is very, very excited looking at the board for this weekend. So make sure you guys stay tuned to trainwrecksports.com for more, where we have that and a ton of more other content coming out all the time. We got Slick's picks coming out this Saturday. As always, I think they're back for Fight Night, or is it next week?
The next one, yeah.
One more week off. I can't.
Yeah,
I need him, Slick.
they're trying to
You've
take
been
me
out.
out.
You were on a heater too.
I know they're trying to take me out of the game. Like, what's up, Dana?
Meerkats absolutely on fire right now. We'll be back with Free Money Football this Thursday, breaking down all the action that's going to be upcoming for Week 18 of the NFL this year. First time ever. Going to be insane. Hopefully our Bills clinch the AFC East. Slick and I were there to see him clinch the playoffs.
And
We
my
need one
Rams.
more, and Steve's Rams to win the NFC West. I guess wouldn't be bad. I don't really care what happens in the NFC anymore. But yeah, make sure you guys follow us over at Degenerate Zone on Twitter. Make sure you guys hit the like button if you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, and all that stuff. Easiest way to support us, and make sure you guys share the streams as well. Make sure you go out there, go hammer your books, go call in your bets, go text them in, go to the kiosk, go to the $20 minimum bet line. I don't care what you do. Go out there, get that free money. Good night. Now,